We have a number of roles. We've brought together a number of activities, including what is previously referred to as the customs roles, identifying smuggled contraband, protecting the revenue, immigration controls, including identifying the vulnerable people being trafficked, and a whole range of security checks on behalf of other agencies. We also have a fleet of vessels that patrol the UK territorial waters and international waters too. Each year, Border Force and its legacy organisations, before that, have been responsible for seizing quite a few tons of drugs, including Class A, cocaine, heroin. Last year, we seized 455 million cigarettes, 508 tons of tobacco, and that with other alcohol and other revenue goods protected the revenue of £311 million. Locally, we've had a number of successes in Tilbury and Purfleet. Just last month, a consignment of 10.5 million cigarettes was seized in Tilbury. And in December last year, we had 2 further consignments totaling about 4 million cigarettes. One of those consignments was 2.8 million cigarettes with nearly a ton of hand-rolling tobacco, and that alone was worth about £900,000 in revenue. So you can see there's big money to be made here by smuggling in freight, whether that's through the road haulage or whether it's by container. We also had 2 very large cannabis seizures last year in May and in January, totaling over 4 tonnes of cannabis, worth well over £11 million. And you just heard this morning, we identified 3 clandestines coming through the port, and we regularly identify clandestine entries. Those are those people hide themselves in backs of trucks in order to enter the country illegally, the majority of whom we are able to turn around and send back to the port from whence they've come. We are not, however, complacent. We realise the people we're dealing with, the organised criminal gangs, are sophisticated. They're ever adapting their methods, and we in turn need to adapt ours. So within Border Force, we're looking more closely at our detection technology, the way we can detect contraband. We're looking at better use of data, so data that's available from freight companies and airlines, etc., in order to help us try and narrow down those people that we are interested in. Because, of course, one of our roles, Border Force being responsible for protecting the border, is also about facilitating the legitimate traffic, whether that be freight or passengers coming through our ports. And so by better using data, we can sort of help to narrow down those areas we should focus on. And also it's about working more closely with our partners, with our law enforcement partners, with the trade, in order to better work together, to collaborate. We have the same aims and objectives in protecting the UK from crime, protecting the border. And so I welcome the opportunity for Project Yali. It means that more information will be coming to us to help us.
This project today and to support it. I think from a business perspective, which I think is the best position to speak from here, which includes major hauliers in the port such as Maritime Transport, which you'll see around here today, this is a welcome project. We've been very fortunate in Tilbury over many years as a port that we've had an excellent police force that have gained intelligence, very good intelligence over a number of years, and protected the businesses of this port. Businesses, like individuals, when they're affected from criminality, suffer financially and reputationally wise. And I think we welcome this initiative to ensure that this port continues to grow in a way that we're protected from the influences of criminality within the port. We're a good source of information. Our customers welcome this initiative and want to share the information they have. And just to add to some of the statistics that have been mentioned today, we handle 6,000 truck movements a day through this port. So there's, added to the people that work within this port, there's nearly 10,000 people on this site in any one day. So the amount of information that these people will see out on the road and within the port is significant. So we're very pleased.
All those who made it possible. And thanks to the Essex Police team in particular. And my role, as you know, is to hold the police to account, the Chief Constable in particular. But this is exactly the sort of innovative work that we should be seeing being done. And it's great to see that sort of innovation. It's also great to see the partnership that's involved, because this is not just one agency, this is lots of people saying, how can we make a difference between us? How can we make a difference? And the third button it pushes for me, which is really important, is about prevention. So much of policing, sadly, has to be about going and clearing up the mess after bad things have happened. And wouldn't it be great just to get more upstream of some of those problems? Of course, this is what many of you do day by day. The great thing about this project is it projects that well-established, well-tried and tested route of reporting information right into the heart of a community who might find it quite difficult actually to know how to do it. Lorry drivers are very inevitably coming and going, travelling all around Europe, certainly. Here are these people, many of them probably not English, a lot of English drivers too, but to have one number that's easily available, is going to be well advertised, and they know that they're going to get the right response. So Crime Stoppers, congratulations on your 25th anniversary and because of the crime. But behind all of this is serious and organised crime. We don't see it day by day. Day by day, I'm talking in nice places. It might be like Thurrock, or it might be, as in last night, up in the depths of North Essex, up in Dunmow, just as nice and rural as you can get. But the crime there, the low-level crime there, is being impacted by the serious criminals that you are operating against. And that's what this is all about. It's trying to get at those really serious organised criminals and terrorists who ultimately are wrecking the lives of ordinary people. Now, sometimes that connectivity isn't clear. Often it's very obscure for lots of reasons. And sometimes, I guess even sometimes, I'm sure not in this room, but there are people who think, well, if I buy a bottle of booze that I know, may have come in the back of a van somewhere, or I'm buying fags that are cheap in the market, well, is there much damage? Well, yeah, there is damage. Firstly, you may well be smoking counterfeit and dangerous cigarettes, but more particularly, the people are making money out of what you're doing. That money is being channeled in all sorts of ways, and ultimately it's really harming communities. So, although there's a range of different things, above this and driving this are really serious criminals and terrorists who are doing great harm. We heard about the economic harm, but it's harm to communities day by day. And if we're going to make a difference, and we are making a difference, crime is coming down, the country is getting safer. It's a good place. Essex is a great county, England's a great place to live, the UK is a great place to live. If we're going to make that difference, we have to do these innovative partnership things that make a difference, attacking not only at the low level, at the street level that many of us do day by day, but these things which get at the people who are running these big crime gangs. And we can't, even things like...
And the real challenge here is that with so much coming in and out of the port, one of the things is we need to make sure, obviously, that nasty things don't get through, things that are going to rob the exchequer of tax revenue, people who shouldn't be here. And that's a real challenge, particularly when you're talking about the volumes of activity that are going on here. But, I know that all of you, Border Force, Essex Police and the Port of Tilbury Police who do this work, you are all unsung heroes, and it's not something that you can particularly shout about your achievements. And we've heard already today about 3 illegal immigrants intercepted today. All this is going on all the time, finding smuggled cigarettes or drugs or whatever it is. But we don't want to frighten people. So you all get on with the hard work of detecting this stuff, and nobody knows about it. But on their behalf and in their ignorance, I thank you for the very real efforts that you made, because you are making our country and our community a much safer place. But it's a huge task, an absolutely huge task, and really, this maintaining security of our country, we have to do our bit too, because it's all very well relying on the police and the security services and border force, but we need to be the eyes and ears, and we need to be feeding intelligence back whenever we come across it, because otherwise they can't do it all by themselves. And that's the real strength and importance of this project. So I really encourage you to really get involved with this and get behind it and really foster this genuine partnership which will make our country a much safer place. And really, the haulage drivers are a fantastic source of intelligence. They can be the eyes and ears of you, so when you can't be everywhere. And obviously the anonymity that Crime Stoppers are giving in terms of reporting is a great strength too. And I know, because I speak to many hauliers, and I know they do witness things, because they tell me what lots of foreign lorry drivers are getting up to, and you know, the chances are that if they're doing something dodgy in one way, they might be doing something dodgy in another. And every bit of intelligence will be assessed, so, you know, when in doubt, just report it. That's really the message, because, you know, far better that the real problems do get reported, rather than perhaps thinking, all right, we'll not bother. Because the reality is that if we're picking up intelligence from more than one source, then we're more likely to get to where the trouble is. So